Hello and welcome to my tutorial for using Martin Hawksey's tags system, which stands for Twitter Archiving Google Sheet. It's very much what it sounds like. It allows you to archive tweets via various search parameters into a Google Sheet and then display visualizations and other interesting things. And you can also export them to be used in Gephi and other visualization software. Before you start, I recommend creating a unique Twitter account for the archiving that you're going to be doing. This will allow you to have your developer work connected directly to that. You won't be tweeting from that account, but you'll be able to use that for your developer work. To do that, you will also need to create a new email address, most likely. For example, I just created one called wolfarchives@gmail, and the Twitter handle is wolfarchives. Before you begin also, you will need to be logged out of all Gmail accounts except for the new one you've just created or whichever one you're going to be using. This is because we're going to be working with Drive, and when you're logged into multiple Gmail accounts at this time, it does not really work with Drive very well. It asks you to log out and log in. So please log out of everything else except for this one particular Gmail account. Okay. So to begin, once you've done that, you go to tags.hawksey.info, as you can see displayed below, and click on Get Tags. Here you will have the option to create a 6.1. Just reading about that a little bit, some updates. So once you click 6.1, you're going to click Make a Copy. And what this is going to do is it will make a copy of the spreadsheet that you're going to be using. Oh, a nice new color interface, 6.1. There we go. Okay, so once you've clicked Copy, you will eventually see in the header a tags menu item. You'll also see a copy of tags 6.1. You want to rename this so that you don't forget to do this either. And so I'm going to call this the Climate Change Archive because I'm going to be searching for tweets that use the phrase climate change. Once you've done that and you've renamed it, you click on Tags and click Set up Twitter access. And this will, you say yes, authentication is required, so click Continue. You'll be brought to a pop-up that asks you if this can happen. You say Allow. Twitter authorization. So now they have two ways to connect. The easy option is so let's try the easy setup, see how that works. Review permissions, allow, sign in to Twitter, authorize the app, close this window. Well, that's pretty easy now. You don't even have to use a developer interface. But perhaps I will create a tutorial that does that as well. Once you have done that, you enter basically the search term that you want to include. So climate change. And the default, you want to keep that. If you think this is being spammed, you can set a minimum number of followers. So you could do that to ensure number of tweets sort of goes back in time. Search tweets. Is there any other one? Favorites. You can even search favorites and lists. You can search statuses and timelines. So we're going to do the search tweets. Okay, and we're going to go to tags and then run now. And you can see it's running the script. The first time it usually takes a little while. While this is happening, you can go to the tags menu, and then you can also add the summary sheet, which is nice to have, and then also the dashboard sheet. And you can see down at the bottom that new tabs appear below. Okay, and just in that short period of time, what it's done is it's gone back and grabbed just about 3,000 tweets. Now you can up the number of tweets that it will go back and search. It gets searches from the last 7 days, so you can get 10,000, although or more. It just might take a little while, and it might not give you all that many. Here we've got 2,970. We can see that they are in the archive, and we can go back and look at them. We can look at the summary sheet showing who is actually tweeting about what and how often they are tweeting, and the dashboard gives us also some activity information from the last 7 days, and we can see that we went from 0 and there's about 200 a day using this particular hashtag, and it tells us the start time and end time. Now there is also a Tags Explorer and the Tags Archive. This is a searchable archive, and this is it shows you visualizations of what we're seeing. In order to view those, we need to go to Publish to the Web, and the entire document, click Publish, okay. And this is the URL if you ever wanted to share that. If you are sharing it, please make sure that you are following the Twitter terms of service. One other thing is that if you want to create this to update every hour, you can go to Tags, Update Archive every hour. If you want it to update at a certain time, let's say once a week or twice a week at a certain time of the day, or you need it to be updated every minute because it's a very, very recent archive, or hashtag or something viral is taking place, you can go to Tools and then Script Editor, and that will open up a new window. And I recommend changing this to Climate Change Editor. So, because if there are errors that happen at all, you'll get an email and it will tell you exactly which one it is, and you won't have to figure that out. And you can go to Resources, Current Projects Triggers, and triggers are basically actions that the archive takes. And you can set those. And so you want to set one and basically get tweets. You can do it time-driven, hour, day timer, week timer. So if you want to do the week timer, you can choose like every Monday, every Tuesday, like every Tuesday from midnight at 1 a.m. and you can save that. So every week this will be updating at 1 a.m. on Tuesday. And this will ensure that it's going to be updated at that time. If you ever want to change that trigger, you can go back and change it. Let's say that you want to, you say, okay, well that's just not enough, that you need to have it updated every hour. So you can see current projects triggers, and if you want to delete it, you just click delete. Or if you need it to day timer every day from 1 to 2 a.m., save that and it will update that for you. Okay. So now we have our archive set up. We've got some tweets in it. We can do a quick running again, so just to add a few more tweets to see if there's any more in there. And you can see there's a status bar to tell you how long things are going to take. It's almost done. So no more tweets at this time yet, just a few more tweets at this time. Number of tweets, unique tweets, and we've already made it public so that we can view the Tags Explorer. So let's click on that. And it sometimes takes a little while, depending on your system and how many. So here we have the tweets, and it should arrange itself. It takes a little while to do that. Sometimes it zooms in before it zooms out. Other times you have to help it zoom out. It's best if you have your computer displayed at the full size of your monitor to try to get everything. If it's not zooming out for you, you can give it a little bit of help to do that. And here's a little visualization that you can see. The larger the word, the larger the username, the more often they appear in the archive. Now this is just the regular replies to one another. We can see there's not a lot of replies. There are some lines that are connecting here and there. But we can also see how often there are mentions and how often there are retweets. So if we click mentions, there it goes. Takes a little while again for these to appear, depending on the speed of your computer. So here we can see that there are mentions. Mentions are different than replies. Mentions appear within the tweet. Replies are directly to one another. So that's more of a conversation. The other ones are just sort of mentioning an account. And again, this is taking a little while. We can also view retweets. So here it's interesting that we can see Leonardo DiCaprio's account is being retweeted quite often. Okay, good. So that's out of the way. So you also have the ability to search the archive, which shows you all the various tweets in the archive and when they've appeared, which is a nice little feature. You can search by tweet name. You can look for something in the tweet. So if you're interested in, say, let's see, what might we want to look at? Are there other hashtags that we're interested in also seeing? So let's say we could filter just by climate. That might be something. Or there's one called carbon. We could do a search for that and see how many, and just get an interesting visualization idea of how many people are tweeting that particular search. And we can narrow that down based on timeline or time of the day and so on. And then you can see who has been doing it. And it just pulls it out, gives you an idea of who the users are, what they're doing. Just a little bit more information. In the visualization, what's nice is that you can do some other work by clicking on the little dots. Let's try to go back to that. Maybe it'll be a little bit friendlier now. Again, it takes a long time. So what's nice about this is, you can click on a particular username and you can see how often that particular person has tweeted, and then you can replay those tweets over time. And when there's a lot of tweets, you start seeing lots of things popping up, and you get an understanding of the dynamics of how things are starting to appear and change over as they're starting to appear on Twitter. And when there's something viral, you really see things happening, and you can just watch that viral speed taking place. The last thing that you'll want to be able to do here is you'll want to be able to export these so that you can bring them into another kind of spreadsheet for some sort of analysis. I'll be having a tutorial for setting this up to using Gephi, but for now, just a regular export. You go to File, download as, and then you say comma separated values, and it's just the current sheet. So you want to make sure that you're on the archive page. And you click on that, and it will give you the option to save and to save your computer. And when you're opening it, I strongly recommend you use OpenOffice rather than Microsoft Excel because Excel does not keep the Twitter, the user, the status IDs as the full number. It cuts them off, which is rather problematic. So you'll want to make sure that you are using OpenOffice because it keeps everything exactly the way that it should be. So that's tags. It's very, like I said, very easy to set up, easy to use, and good luck while you're using it. Let me know if you have any questions.